This story starts with three young women simply walking home in Brazil. They weren't seeking aliens or mysteries, they were just trying to return home. Suddenly, they noticed something crouched next to a wall in Varginha, soaked by the rain. This incident occurred on January 20th, 1996, in Varginha, Minas Gerais, Brazil. This quiet city was about to be at the center of a bizarre UFO case. Witnesses described a dark sky, heavy air, and recent rain in the city. This sighting would transform an ordinary afternoon into a nationwide sensation. Lilian, Valkyria, and Katia reported seeing a creature near an empty lot. They described a small humanoid figure, thin, fragile, with a large head and elongated limbs. The creature's skin appeared dark brown and oily, resembling something burned or drenched. What stood out most were its large, deep red eyes that were fixed on the women. Some reports mentioned peculiar bumps on its head, resembling small horns. The girls stared in confusion at something they couldn't comprehend for a few seconds. Fear then overwhelmed them. One screamed, and the others fled. One girl reached home in terror, telling her mother, "I saw the devil." This statement is crucial. Initially, it was not an alien story, but a frightened girl's attempt to describe the unknown. Later, Brazil would refer to it as the ET of Varginha. However, the story did not start and end with just those three witnesses. UFO investigators noted that unusual reports had circulated in the city before the girls reached that wall. Residents reported seeing unusual objects in the sky and confusion near wooded areas. The first significant claim was that firefighters captured a strange being earlier that day. The official version denies this claim, but it became a cornerstone of the legend. Some accounts say emergency workers discovered a weak, disoriented creature unlike any known animal. Other accounts suggest that multiple beings may have been involved. The narrative then shifts from the streets to military involvement. Witnesses reported military trucks moving unusually through Varginha. Some locals claimed areas were cordoned off, and they were told not to inquire. Although these claims are disputed, they added a darker dimension to the case. A possible recovery, not merely a sighting. Allegations state that the creature was initially taken to a local hospital. Some believe it was subsequently moved to a military facility in Tres Coraco. Later, it was allegedly sent to Campinas for further examination. None of this remains publicly proven. No confirmed body, no alien material, and no official admission exist. Despite this, the story of Varginha endures, as it was never just one narrative. It evolved into a web of testimonies from young women, family members, residents, soldiers, doctors, and anonymous sources. Some were direct witnesses, others repeated heard stories, and some came forward long after the event. The first issue with Varginha is whether it's a chain of rumors or a breaking silence. One witness's mother reportedly returned to the site where the girls saw the being. Family accounts say she discovered marks on the ground and a peculiar smell. This smell recurs in the legend, described as strong, chemical, and unsettling. Skeptics argue that memory alters over time, especially with media exposure, while believers warn against dismissing repeated accounts. Then we have the official explanation. Brazilian military investigators concluded there was neither an alien creature nor a covert extraterrestrial operation. The official account suggested the women might have seen a vulnerable man from the area. He was recognized in the city and occasionally crouched or walked in ways that were misinterpreted. Officials speculated that on that rainy day, he might have frightened the girls, dirty and wet by the wall. However, the witnesses dismissed that explanation. They insisted they recognized the man, and what they witnessed that day was distinctly different. This is where the case becomes complicated and hard to resolve. If the girls had never encountered that man before, the official explanation could seem straightforward. But if they recognized him and insisted it was something else, questions linger. Now, let us know in the comments. Can fear cause 3 people to misidentify someone familiar? Or does that detail complicate accepting the official explanation? The next odd element in this case involves the local zoo. During this time, locals reported unusual deaths among several animals. Skeptics contend animals die for common reasons, and that rumors can link unrelated occurrences. Believers view these animal deaths as evidence that something dangerous or unknown passed through Varginha. A death soon transformed the story into a darker narrative. A young military police officer, Marco, died less than a month after the reported incidents. Legend claims Marco was involved in handling or transporting one of the supposed creatures. Some reports suggest he fell ill after contact with the creature. Officially, there is no evidence linking his death to extraterrestrial activities. Medical explanations include infection, complications, or unfortunate timing. To believers, his death raises the most haunting question of this entire incident. Did Marco just happen to die at a terrible time? Or did he come too close to whatever was removed from that rainy city? We must tread carefully. There's no confirmed evidence that Marco encountered an alien. Mysteries persist not only due to evidence, but also because their timing feels unforgettable. If you're still watching, don't forget to like and subscribe to Listen in the Dark. Stories like this exist between testimony and silence, making the truth harder to distinguish from fear as we delve deeper. Official documents state military vehicles were not covertly transporting aliens. They claim the observed movements were routine and that witnesses misinterpreted ordinary events. According to them, soldiers were questioned, with no evidence backing the alien narrative. A responsible retelling of this story must be stated plainly. But critics ask, if nothing occurred, why did the story become so complicated so quickly? Why did countless people believe something extraordinary was happening in the city? Why did rumors about hospitals circulate? Why did anonymous military claims enter this narrative? Perhaps television, panic, ufologists, and rumors transformed a terrifying moment into a national myth. Or maybe when the unimaginable occurs, institutions instinctively avoid providing explanations. Perhaps their first instinct is to control the situation. In Varginha, this control became part of its legend. The city transformed, reporters and tourists arrived. The ET became a symbol, a joke, a business, and a wound. Alien-themed statues appeared. A water tower resembled a flying saucer, and bus stops looked like spacecraft. This commercialization made skeptics more suspicious. When mysteries become tourism, questions arise about who profits. Despite the souvenirs, the original question still lingers. The 3 young women still claim to have seen something, and a mother maintained that the area had a strange smell. Residents recalled strange movements, and Marco's name is forever tied to this case. Decades later, the story of Varginha refused to be forgotten. New interviews and documentaries introduced new claims to a younger audience. One doctor named Italo claimed he saw a strange being in a hospital, but remained silent for years. He described the being as small, pale, nearly childlike, with an unusual skull and striking eyes. If his account is accurate, the story expands far beyond the girls by the wall. If his account is false or altered by memory, it demonstrates how legends evolve over time. This exemplifies the danger of the story. Each new testimony may clarify or obscure the truth. The official explanation claims the case arose from confusion, rumor, exaggeration, and misinterpretations. Some accounts question whether the military capture stories were exaggerated or fabricated. This is important, as not every bizarre claim warrants acceptance as fact. However, official denials do not always address the emotional heart of a mystery. 3 witnesses experienced something terrifying, and their families believed something transpired. Authorities provided an explanation that witnesses dismissed, and Brazil never fully moved on. Perhaps it wasn't an alien. Perhaps it was a military mishap, an animal, a sick individual, or a covert operation. Perhaps the term alien was so ludicrous, it served as a shield for something real. The power of Varginha lies in its need for belief, but not in totality. It requires just enough unanswered questions to keep a singular thought alive. What if the girls were indeed correct? What if something truly fell near Varginha? What if something had survived? What if it was seized, concealed, examined, and wiped from official accounts? Believers reference the witnesses, the red eyes, the smell, alleged military movements, hospital rumors, and Marco's demise. Skeptics cite official inquiries, the absence of physical proof, contradictions, potential hoaxes, and media frenzy. And somewhere between these worlds, the ET of Varginha continues to linger. Not as proof or fantasy, but as a lingering question that won't fade away. Now here's a question for you. Was Varginha a misunderstanding, a hoax, a cover-up, or Brazil's closest encounter? If this story prompted thoughts, please like, subscribe to Listen in the Dark, and share it with someone who challenges simple answers.